Hello, everyone, and welcome back to E3. No, not that E3, Episode 3 of E2E. Today, we're gonna fly, but not like this. This is thanks to an air charm that I found in a village, but it's kind of limited, and we can most definitely do better. Today, we're gonna fly with the Angel Ring. If we take a look at our goal board, we'll see how we can do this. Step 1 is to build, Step 2 is to get some tech, and Step 3 is for some mobs to get wrecked. You see, to make the Angel Ring, we're gonna need both an Elytra, Dragon's Breath, and a Nether Star, so that's 2 bosses that we need to get rid of. And as you might be able to tell from my patchwork armor and crappy osmium sword, our gear is not set up for this. Let's fix it. The first step to better gear is better weapons. And that, of course, starts with a cleaver from Tinker's. It does a ton of damage, and it's going to help us get the Wither Skulls we need to get our Nether Star. To make our cleaver, we're going to stick with an Osglow Glass blade head, a Cobalt large plate, a Mana Steel tool rod, and a Dragon Bone tool rod. If you're wondering where the Dragon Bones came from, well, some poor guy thought he could sneak up on me while I was looting a village, and it did not go well for him. Put all of these together, and we get this sick-looking cleaver with 5,000 durability and attack damage of 20 as its base. Compare that to our current sword, which has 700 durability and 8 attack damage, and it's not difficult to tell that this is a really big upgrade. Throw some redstone on it to make it attack faster, and I think we're set. Let's test it out. Well, I know it's not the same order that the goals were written in, but since I just found another fortress while testing out the sword, I say we check it out, and kill a few wither skeletons while we're at it. 1 down, 2, and 3. Also check this out, 2 blaze spawners right next to each other. But now that we have our wither skeletons, let's take a step back and center ourselves. And that starts with first, catching you guys up. The only really important thing I did between episodes was complete a few more mechanism quests. I made some more machines, made some steel, and a few different types of power generation, but none of these are going to be what we end up with. I am, however, going to claim all of its loot boxes, and get nothing useful out of them. As I've mentioned before, what we want to do today is craft the Angel Ring. And it's got a lot of weird components. The golden apples, no problem. The ethereal glass, we can make. This chicken wing ring is actually pretty simple. It's going to require a golden lasso, but none of this is hard to make. The real challenge is getting a nether star, prismarine, dragon's breath, and an elytra. The prismarine will require us to explore the world, while the dragon's breath and the elytra require us to go to the end. Finally, these dense gold plates from industrial craft can only be made in a compressor, which we do not yet have. Matter of fact, we haven't even started industrial craft. So, our next goal should be to get into it and make the compressor, which, luckily for us, is really easy. The only new item here is the basic machine casing. Making this casing will require 4 aluminum plates, as well as 4 large iron plates. And with these combined, we can get into IC2. The first use for these casings will be the macerator and the extractor. We don't actually need these, but they help unlock the quests for the compressor. We can get around needing the electronic circuits from IC2 by just replacing them with basic control circuits from Mechanism, which are pretty cheap. However, making IC2 machines is a lot easier than powering them. If I put our compressor down connected to this cryo-stabilized flux duct, and I try to put in the gold plates, you'll notice nothing happens. That's because IC2 machines require EU, not the RF that everything else is compatible with. We can get around this using the universal cables from Mechanism, but This requires a whole bunch of stuff that we have not gotten into, and quite frankly, I don't want to do that right now. Instead, I'm just going to cheese it by putting down a basic energy cube. These are not hard to craft, by the way, and hooking the machine up to that. Now, we have power, and we can throw in our gold plates. After this machine finishes its painfully slow operations, we have our 2 dense gold plates. Later on, we will set up proper systems for IC2 and all of this garbage lying around in front of my base, don't worry. But for now, I just wanted to rush these plates and the ring. And speaking of the ring, we now have 6 of the 9 items we need to craft it. And by making a golden lasso and grabbing a chicken with it, we can make that number 7. Now, of course, comes the tricky stuff. The Nether Star and Dragon's Breath are going to be tricky, so let's start with the easy stuff. We have black quartz from mining, and we can find prismarine out in the world. Well, it took a while, but thankfully our base is surrounded by a lot of ocean, and we have our ocean monument right here. All I should really need here is to kill a couple guardians. Definitely not prepared to go and explore the whole thing, but we have our shards. Mission complete. And with the prismarine down, it means that now only the difficult stuff remains. I think I'm going to start with the Wither, but even though we now have a comically oversized sword, that doesn't mean that we're ready to fight the Wither. We need some protection. The armor that we're gonna go for is the nano suit. There's others that are pretty good, but honestly, I just like how it looks. Not to mention that we have a head start, because some mobs that I killed dropped their nano suit boots for us. Now, while none of the components are particularly difficult, there is a lot of microcrafting involved to this stuff, especially these night vision goggles. So I'm just gonna skip over most of it and catch up with you guys when I'm done. Man, that was the grindiest thing I've done in a while. But we should be able to take all this gear and charge it inside our basic energy cube for mechanism. While we wait for this to charge, because it might take a while, I thought we should take a look at our ranged options, because we are going to have to fight the Ender Dragon, and hitting that guy with a sword is not that easy. The main options are the crossbow, longbow, or the laser gun. I have heard of some absolutely broken combos with the shuriken, but I'm not quite up for that yet. The laser gun is looking like the most appealing to me, and although I know that it's really broken and probably overpowered, I've never actually used one, so can you blame me for wanting to try it out? In order to make our laser, I'm gonna go with a dragon bone tool rod, same as in my cleaver, an Osglowglass pipe piece, refined glowstone for the laser medium, and a Manulin battery cell. I know this one isn't ideal, but it's the best I have at the moment. With all of these together, we can get our new laser gun. I'm sure it's really cool. Unfortunately, I still need to wait for these guys to charge. With all of our gear finally charged, we can get decked out. I'm realizing I don't know how to use this laser gun. Don't worry guys, I figured it out. Alright, I'm convinced. Laser guns are really fun. And between that, our new armor, and our cleaver, I don't think this Wither's gonna be a problem. But out of what some might describe as an abundance of caution, I'm gonna fight him over here in a desert a couple thousand blocks from our base. No reason to risk it. 30 seconds or less. What did I tell you? And with that, all that's left on our journey to the Angel Ring is an elytra and a bottle of Dragon's Breath. In this pack, finding the dragon is as easy as in vanilla. No 12 eyes to look for here. Well, our last Eye of Ender just broke, but I'm pretty confident that the stronghold is somewhere down here. Do you mind? So annoying. As I was saying, I think the stronghold is somewhere under here because although the eye didn't go down, it keeps sort of bringing me in circles around here. Let's see if I'm right. Remember, always dig straight down. Definitely hear lots of mobs, and we are getting pretty low. Will you look at that? Also, look at what I learned you can do with this laser gun. That's so broken. So we found our stronghold, but while I was looking for it, check this out. Mobs dropped 3 of the 4 pieces of the nanosuit armor set. I clearly shouldn't have worried about making this all on my own. I should have just gone out and farmed some mobs at night. But we're back at our stronghold, now with torches. Let's go exploring. This void charm seems like it could be useful given that we're about to go to the end. Check out this sweet door. Leads directly into a pit of lava. Well, found the portal already. Not gonna bother keeping the silverfish spawner. Only 2 filled Eyes of Ender in this portal means that I'm gonna have to farm some Endermen because I actually don't have enough to fill this out. I've set a portal here with our Osglow Glass laser gun, so that we can easily come back to it once we have our Eyes of Ender. And we're back. After some light Enderman slaughter, we have all the eyes we need. In fact, we actually only need 10. I don't know why I had 11 there. I'm gonna make sure my armor is all charged. Unfortunately, it just started raining, so the solar panel isn't gonna work. Now, with all our gear charged, a reusable Ender Pearl, some good food, and of course, some bottles for the Dragon's Breath. Don't think I forgot. We're ready to go to the end. The end's a lot brighter than I remember it being. We spawned away from the main island, but our air charm has us covered. I wonder if we even need to destroy the crystals. The laser doesn't seem to affect them. I take that back. I've been so busy messing around with Dragon's Breath that I haven't even actually damaged it. Let's make the last hit one with a sword. We got our Draconic Evolution Heart and some Draconium Dust. That's always nice. Let's make sure to grab the egg. And now, let's go get our Elytra, the final piece. How did I manage to get the achievement without actually going through? There we go. I gotta say, after getting used to all of the cool new mods that add, like, huge end revamps, this is a little disappointing. The first end city I find, and this is it. This is the saddest thing I've ever seen. At least the chests are nice. Iridium shards are good. The second end city proved just as empty. It seems like try number 3 might have been the lucky one. This end city here happens to have a ship. I'm not even gonna waste time working my way through the rest. I'm just flying up to this and getting my elytra. And the dragon head. And with the elytra safe, we can teleport right back home. I am running out of chest space, so I'm gonna have to set up some new ones for all of our loot. But now, we can get to the moment we've been waiting for. First, we can craft the Ender Star, and finally, our Angel Ring. Now, the one thing to note about the Angel Ring, as you might be able to see, is that it says uses 32 GP, grid power. To make grid power, you're gonna need a mill from extra utilities, and we might have to craft these. But I did get a lot of fire mills as a quest reward. I'm gonna try and see if there'll be enough. I've gone ahead and put 9 fires down. We can put 9 fire mills on top of them and generate 36 grid power, which is more than the 32 the ring needs, meaning that now we can fly. This is a glorious feeling. This is gonna make getting around so much easier. Although one thing I wanted to test was if, even without the boots, we still take fall damage. And the answer seems to be no. So, we got our Angel Ring. We killed the Wither, we killed the Ender Dragon. This goal thoroughly complete. We even have done some tech in the form of Industrial Craft 2, and getting all this cool armor. So, I'm gonna tentatively say that this part also complete. But as you might notice, we have not done a lot of building so far, and we should definitely fix that. Rather than make one specific build today, I want to focus on instead planning out the layout of this base. Because we're getting to the point where we could craft the ME controller and get into Applied Energistics too, which is a great time to start setting up your base. So I'm going to spend some time now planning out where and what rooms this base will have, and next episode we'll set them all up and make them look nice. Deal? Deal. Did not mean to break these. And welcome back. I know it's only been a few seconds for you guys, but it's actually been about 2 real-life days for me, so let's check out what I've gotten done in that time. If we start here in our immersive engineering room, we see that we now have a staircase down. These walls here are still very plain, as you can see. They're not finished yet, but I'll get there. Still playing around with designs. But down here, we have a brand new hallway, and then a bunch of paths leading off from it. My concept, what I was planning out, was making a room for each mod. If I'm totally honest, I don't know if this is a good idea, so if you've played it, please let me know. Following this hallway, we then branch off here to the right, where we have a space up ahead for extra utilities, and then another branch that actually connects us back to this hallway here, which is the main staircase. If we run up this, we're back at the entrance of the building, so that's already one completed loop. And then we have these really long staircases down to almost bedrock, that's Y11 that the floor is at. And this pretty big room down here is for mechanism. This central area here is going to connect all the way over to the bottom of the pyramid. Finally, if we follow our staircase back up and go back to our original hallway, we get into the last 2 rooms. This one was going to be for forestry, and then following this long, winding staircase down, we are going to reach the room of the Old King, the Industrial Craft room. Here, I did actually build, and I'm pretty happy with how it came out. The idea here was to make a sort of ancient tomb, something much older than even the rest of the ruins, and even the design is different. The statues, for example, are similar, but they're overall much simpler. I was really trying to give the impression that the rest of the base sort of evolved from this style. And as for where the IC2 machines will go, these tombs here actually open, and we can put some machines inside. Over here, this little end section, it's a little bit of a placeholder. I want to put our UU matter replicator setup here in the middle, kind of as the centerpiece. Because if you've played E2E, you know that that's going to be an important part of the pack. Or so I'm told. Finally, down here, we have this custom ladder, and we have this tiny, tiny cramped little access tunnel. And this little tunnel is actually what connects us back into our mechanism room, completing the loop. So all of this is the plan for the base going forward. Again, let me know if my ideas are stupid and if I should instead divide the rooms up differently, but assuming the plan doesn't change, look forward to all of this next episode. For now, thank you for watching, and stay cool. Oh, and that huge ugly pyramid that was taking up space over here? Yeah, that's gone now.